My video this week discusses a very small, simple step that arguably underpins a majority of my practice. It's simply the process of attaching the pot to the metal wheel head so that the entirety of the walls and the inside form can be trimmed. Now, this is a topic I normally discuss in any of my videos where I'm turning pots, but it isn't something I've really broken down and spoken about in detail. So in this video, I'll be showing you how I do it, why I do it, as well as discussing common errors and mistakes you might encounter, together with a whole myriad of other things that relate to this subject. It is worth mentioning that this technique is deceptively simple, and it's one that benefits greatly if you are able to tap center, which is another topic I've made a video about recently, a link to which you can find on screen now and in the description below. Being able to tap center isn't completely necessary for attaching your pots to the wheel like I'll show you in this video, but it is advantageous. It speeds the process up, and if you are a potter like me who trims a lot, it can streamline your process to no end. It starts, of course, with leather hard pots. Now, the conventional way of trimming your pots if they're the right way up is to use either something like a Giffen grip, which is a mechanical device that holds your pot in place with 3 adjustable arms. The other method is to use lugs of clay, which you position around the centered pot to hold it securely in place. Both of these methods, though, block some portion of the pot from being trimmed. They work, yes, but there's only so far down I can trim before I hit into these, and with something like a Giffen grip, it's normally worse. Not only that, but if I want to trim near the top of the pot, if I'm not using exceptionally large bits of clay, the piece will most likely topple over to one side. At the same time, this technique is only really applicable to those potters who do trim most of their vessels, but it is also surprisingly versatile, and it's a skill I'd consider learning even if you don't trim pots that much. So, with my technique, you don't need any lumps of clay or additional tools, and by using this technique you can trim the entirety of the walls on the outside, essentially defining the profile of the pot in one go, which with the strong angularity with my shapes is really useful. Lastly, once mastered, this technique is really fast. But quickly, before I get into that, the first thing I normally do is place my pot the right way up to see if the rim is wavering at all. If it is, I place the vessel upside down, turn the base flat, and then flip it the right way up. And as you can see, the rim is no longer wavering. So, at this point, I can attach it to the wheel. I lift the vessel up and use a brush to get some slip. I find this works better than just water. I then band a small circle of it just underneath the vessel, matching the diameter of its base. The pot is then placed onto the slip, tap centered, and once I can see that it's spinning in the very middle of the wheel, which I do by judging the gap in between the base of the pot and the closest ring in the metal, and by watching things such as the rim and the waist to see if they're spinning without any undulations, I take a plastic kidney with a relatively sharp, squared corner and I press it in at the base, starting a little bit above the bottom, pushing down some of the excess clay into the wheel head to seal the vessel onto the metal. And with that, I can really shake the pot quite firmly and it doesn't come loose. It will, of course, if you force it, but essentially, as the pot is tap-centered, the friction of the pot skidding across the wheel head in combination with the slip causes this slip to quickly set and dry, and in combination with sealing the base, it holds the pot really rigidly in place. And in my opinion, it does it a lot better than 3 lumps of clay do, although I do still use bits of clay like this, but I'll get onto that later. For now though, with this vase firmly stuck down, I can trim the entirety of the pot shape, including the inside, such as the rim and the opening, and even further down if I need to. Now, removing the pot from the wheel is another challenge, and it helps to have the right tool for this. And to do this, I use this very thin metal knife I got from Japan. Only the very tip is really sharp. But first, I use the squared off end to scrape away the seal I created. Then, whilst holding the pot with my left hand, this way I'm ready to catch it when the pot comes loose, I spin the wheel and slide the tip of the knife underneath the vase. Easy, right? Yet there is thought behind this. When I brush slip onto the base of a pot, or onto the wheel head, I make sure that it's only applied around the outside of the base. This way, only a small portion of the bottom actually attaches to the wheel head, which means I only have to slide the knife a small way before it dislodges. If, on the other hand, I were to cover the entire bottom and slip, and then attach it, then when it comes to removal, I might have to slide the knife all the way to the centre, which, depending on the size of your pot, can be rather difficult, especially if you don't have the right tool. But if it is something like a bowl, and it has a tool foot, meaning there's excess clay in it, you can use something like a wire. Anyhow, with the rim and the sides of the pot trimmed, it can be flipped upside down so I can finish the base. You'll find that some potters attach their pots to the wheel by brushing some water or slip around the rim. In many ways this is very similar to how I attach the pots down via the base, but with how thin and delicate the lips of my pots tend to be, I don't like the idea of attaching them down with water or slip, as when it comes to removing them from the wheel by sliding a knife beneath them, it will leave a rather ragged surface that will have to be tidied up, which adds time and another step to finishing my pots. Of course the lip can be sponged clean afterwards, but if you are using a slightly grogged clay body, doing so can create quite a rough surface, and considering I just spent some time finishing the rim as it is, having to do some considerable work to fix it, again, doesn't really make sense. So, when finishing the bottoms of my pots, I centre them, and this is when I use those 3 lugs of clay pressed in around the rim. I hold the pot securely with one hand, this way I don't shift it off-centre as I push the clay down against it. I also push the clay directly down and let the material that splays outward be the clay that holds the pot in place, rather than pushing the stoneware directly against the pot, as by doing so you could potentially distort the walls of the vase. As at the top there's no base of clay supporting the shape like there is at the bottom, so you do need to be careful. So, let's go through that entire process again, but this time I'll pick up on a few other points. Instead of slipping the wheel head, you can slip the base of the pot if you like. There's no real difference. Once slipped, and when I begin tap centering, I normally push down with my left hand inside the pot, if I can, to help pin the pot in place and to stop it from hydroplaning around on the wheel head. Now, hydroplaning like this is something that will happen if you are using too much water or slip. So if your pot's doing this as you're trying to attach it down, it's really never going to stick. So it's best to take the pot off, wipe away much of the slip, and then brush just a small skim around the very outside of the bottom. It's then placed upside down and tap centered, and you'll be able to feel if you're doing it right, as when you tap center, the friction combined with that small amount of slip will cause the pot to feel very sticky, and it is sort of a race against time, as you need to get it centered before the slip totally dries. Once centered, I take the corner of a plastic kidney and press down a small portion of the foot against the wheel head. I'm not digging the plastic beneath the pot, as that would separate it from the wheel. Instead, I'm just compressing some of the clay down to create an additional seal to hold the pot in place. If you are trimming the insides of your pots and you're having trouble removing all those burrs of clay, you can try using a soft lump of clay like a sponge or a magnet to fish out all those small, pesky pieces. You can of course blow them all out, but doing so can cause quite a mess, so this is quite a neat, simple solution. You can actually see where the pot was stuck down, as there's a ring of stoneware that's left from where the clay was stuck to the wheel head. As I've trimmed the top portion of the pot when it was attached the other way round, I can now use those 3 bits of clay to pin the pot down, as I won't need to trim near the rim at this point. I push the pot down firmly with my left hand, and I don't push the clay towards the pot, instead it's just placed right next to the rim and then pressed directly down. This technique of attaching the pot's base down onto the wheel head is much like any other skill you'll learn in ceramics. It's similar to trimming the base of a pot, like this, or pulling a handle. It takes time to learn and to really get the knack of it, and you might find that your pots keep coming unstuck and dislodge constantly. But after you've done it 100 times, you'll have a lot more control, and hopefully you'll be able to do it very quickly too. It's perhaps a slightly advanced technique, but it's one I can't imagine making without these days. Whether you slip the wheel head or the base of your pot doesn't really matter, but I prefer how even the line is when brushing it against the metal, whereas when you coat it over the foot, there's really no point in centering the vessel upside down and then brushing the slip onto it, as that simply creates another step. So if I do brush it onto the pot, I tend to do it freehand, like so. And when it comes to sealing the base with the plastic kidney, I highly recommend, if you can, to push the vessel itself down with your left hand, as there is a tendency for the vessel to be pushed off-centre during this process. If you are having trouble getting the pot to stick, you can try this technique. I brush some slip down, as usual, and then I grab the pot and firmly rub it back and forth in place, and I'll continue doing this until I can feel the slip beginning to dry and harden. And as it becomes really tacky, I'll aim to get the vessel centered, which I do by stopping the wheel and seeing which direction it needs to be pushed. I then nudge it that way until the pot is perfectly centered. Whereupon the bottom portion is pressed into the wheel head. Like I said, this technique really is just the start of the process, but almost every individual vessel I make utilises it at the start. With this small vase, the opening wasn't quite circular, so I found a small tapering object, a tiny lidded jar in this instance, which was pressed into it and rotated a couple of times in place, thus rounding the rim once again. If I feel like the object I'm trimming is particularly unstable, say a very narrow vase, then I will most likely slip the entirety of the base. As with tall, narrow pots, when you are trimming close to the top, if you do happen to press in too firmly, you can tear the pot off center, which is why when I'm trimming, I generally keep my left hand on the vessel somewhere ready to catch it. And with the small bottle on screen now, although you might have to rewind to the beginning of the process, I'm showing you again how I center the pot without tap centering it. Trimming the insides of pots or the rim like this is something I try not to do on pots that I make in much larger quantities, such as mugs or bowls, thrown in batches of 20 to 60. As if I had to do this for every single pot I make, I'd certainly be a lot slower than making pots. But this small bottle wasn't meant to be. I was overzealous with my trimming. Of course, it happens to everyone, but at least this little pot will be easily recycled. I know this technique won't be suitable for everyone's work, but what I love so much about pottery is how every single maker has their own little tips and tricks and ways of doing things that they've developed over the years to help make their processes more efficient. So if there is ever anything in my videos you spot and go, what on earth is he doing? Please leave a comment about it and let me know, as having to think about and produce these videos that involve breaking down these very specific acts is probably one of my favourite activities, as not only do I have to really think about what it is and why I do it, but I also get to think about how to best demonstrate the technique, which again I really enjoy. Anyway, if you've watched today's video and have found it helpful, wonderful. And thanks as always for taking your time to watch, especially if you made it to the end.